Hey guys, this is Starlight Strategist, bringing you a follow-up video to my Budget Draken film. I ended up taking first place at Duel Day this weekend. I went 3-0 and 6-1 total. I had a lot of fun. I played my friend James with a Light, Darkness, Water, Dragon control in the final, and this deck, it just performed excellently. It flowed very nicely, extremely consistent, and it just did a lot more than I kind of expected it to. So I'm going to go through my list choices and what I would probably take out. I only made 2 changes right before the tournament, which was another Draken Weaponsmith and a Blastforge Captain. With Draken Weaponsmith, it was just nice having consistent Drakons in my hand. I usually open with 2, so I was happy with that. The Blastforge Captain, I'm going to have to get into a little more extensively. So let me get right into the video. Belcher, he actually averaged 2 shields anytime I played him turn 1. Very nice. It was an easy first turn play. Made for good mana or just field presence later on, and was able to fake out a lot of people actually. So it was really nice. I'm glad I had him. He definitely helped chip away at my opponents and play 3. I mean, if you're going to play any form of aggression or swarm, play 3, pretty easy choice. Plane Bodyguard, one of those cards that when I tested I only played 2 of, and I'm glad I went to 3 because there was just a couple times where it was just like, oh, I have an Evo in my hand, I don't have any Drakons on the board, or they just took one out and I have the one in my hand's too expensive, so I'll have to wait a turn. Then I would top deck this and it would just be like boom boom, turn 4. It was perfect. So this was nice to see later on in the game. Made a pretty good mana choice sometimes. And I never attacked with him once, but the 3K helped keep him alive, so that was kind of nice. So I played 3, just great Evo bait, and that was his main purpose, and it did well. Not my preferred turn 1 play, though. Madras Magnetizer was excellent. It's my Belcher that does not have to attack each turn if able. It's not going to crash into anything, of course, but you know, you're not really expecting much of the deck to crash very well. I would say that I would prefer this over Belcher turn 1, but at the same time, since there's such few yellow choices in the deck, it was probably easier to drop the red mana turn 1. So, but great card. It was nice having another choice for turn 1, and it worked out great. Loved it. Madras Tangler was awesome, actually. I played 2, and that worked for me. Oh, I played 3 Madras, by the way, but I played 2. Definitely worked for me. The thing I really liked is in this deck, when I saw it late game, I was excited to draw this, and that doesn't always happen with some of my other decks. Like sometimes I'll see him and I'll be like, I kind of wish this was a different blocker or whatever. But I'd see him, and just having that chump block to keep your stuff alive just helped so much during the tournament. And Light was just paired so well with this deck, I can't even tell you. So the blockers saved my butt a lot, helped keep my stuff alive, helped keep the swarm going, and it was nice because since it was such a low cost, I was able to drop this and another thing on the turn, so I just was able to gain field presence very fast. So great card. I'm definitely glad I only played 2, but worked definitely. Turn 2 Drakons, just 3 of each, definitely worked. I generally had 2 Drakons opening hand, and even if I had 3, I was able to play one down, not really worrying about if I played it as mana or whatever, and helped me overtake the board. Out of the 3, Bronco was probably the best one, not just because of Burn Claw, but just for the fact that he's a 2000 all the time. But Cliff Cutter was nice when I had my Evos down. And Weaponsmith actually was nice to either crash into things, or just they would not block him because they didn't want their Sunstocks to die or whatever. So 3 of them just made for very consistent. This guy is a loser among losers. I think I played him once during the tournament, and he really didn't do much for me. I loved the idea of him because it was going to help me overtake shields, help me not have to crash and actually overtake things. That was going to be cool, but he felt so slow in the deck that I would hold on to him, and then eventually I'd either just pitch him to mana because it just wasn't worth holding on to, or I just had so many better turn 3 plays that this just wasn't doing it for me. It's actually one of my #1 choices to take out, but I could take it or leave it. If you guys wanted to keep him in, I would say go for it. If you guys were saying I want to play 2 or 3, I would say maybe you're playing a slower paced deck, definitely, but it was kind of cool. Like, in testing it helped a couple times, but it dies really easy, so I don't know. Again, I could take it or leave it, but I'm personally going to leave it. Burn Claw, I played 2, definitely glad I only had 2, because generally when I would do Deadly Duo, I'd only have one Bronco in my deck, because one was either in hand, or it would be in shield, or I would play this over a Bronco. So 2 worked. The 5k helped me break through those Jade monitors or whatever. It didn't have the destructive potential as Laser Arm, but it was just really nice to have, because when I played it down, it would help me build up my field presence again if I started losing dragons pretty quickly or whatever, and he actually helped me come back from a couple games, so definitely a great card. I liked him, but again, I think 2's a good option. Laser Arm Draken is Laser Arm Draken. There's no getting around it. It is an absolutely excellent card. Turn 3 Double Breaker. Just some of my games, literally, there's one game I literally only had him on the field, and he broke every one of my opponent's shield, dodging the deadly Shield Blast, and that was the thing, Shield Blast can really hurt this deck, but this guy puts in tons of work when he's on the field, and he becomes a #1 target for your opponents. So, great turn 3 play, excellent, loved it. This guy was quite possibly the MVP of the day. He won me so many games, and it was an excellent turn 3 play, because there were times that I was able to attack with 3 creatures turn 3, and if they'd only have 1 blocker, or if they had no blockers, it was just devastating for them. And then there was a couple times where they would just overextend, and I would drop this down and was able to break through for the game, so loved this guy. I originally didn't play him in my original build. My friend said try him out, so I had 2. I went up to 3, and I would definitely say 3, because when you get him turn 1, it was easy to just kind of pitch him for mana or whatever, but excellent card. Absolutely love it. The fast attack just makes it so good. For my last turn 3 play, I had a Star Lantern. I only played it once during the tournament, and it won me that game, so it's one of my choices to add to the deck, actually. I'll probably put in a second one. It just acts as a Helios Ring when you block, helps keep your Drakons alive, and it was just so good. I absolutely loved it, and it's great against rival Swarm decks, so fit in really well. The turn 3 was perfect. Now, this was my only turn 4, I believe, but it was the best turn 4 I could hope for, because I would play this down after evoing, able to tap them, either break that creature or just break shields, and it just, this won me games, and it definitely helped me win games through it, because every shield you can break is absolutely crucial, and this helps keep my Dragons alive. So it was just, it did so many things. For 4 mana it was great, and I'm glad I didn't play it over Blinder Beetle, because Blinder Beetle, being a 3 mana, it's like I already have so many great turn 3 plays that being turn 4, it just fit with the progression of the deck. The first 3 turns you build, drop this down, and just overtake, so it was perfect. Now I only played 3 red spells, 2 Heatseeker, 1 Comet Missile. I would probably change it to 2 Comet Missile, 1 Heatseeker. A lot of people play a lot more, and I can see that. I mean, that really preference, but I wanted to swarm the field. I wanted to overtake them, and I had these kind of when I needed them, and I didn't have them when I didn't want them. I didn't feel like I had to hold on to them for too long, so it was very nice. 3 just worked for me because of the style of the deck. So, again, I would probably go with 2 Comet, because mostly what you're going to be taking out is blockers. But this was nice for killing birds, so good stuff. Blastforge, I didn't play him once through the whole tournament. Doesn't mean I didn't see him once, it just means he wasn't worth playing. Usually when I got to 5 mana, I had the Helios play in hand, so it was just kind of pointless. His ability's cool, but I think he's actually a little too expensive for the deck overall. Again, cool tech. I've seen lists that run 3 of them, and I'm just like, by that time you really want to overtake it. So, I don't know, he's definitely my #1 choice to take out. Just didn't fit with the flow, and he always got pitched for mana, so kind of a dead draw for me. This was my win the game card. Every time I played it, I won the game. There was only one time in the tournament that I wish this was a Sunspark Blast, but at the same time, I wouldn't have been able to pump up to 6 mana in time to use it anyways, so being 5 mana just helps so much, and usually there were only 2 things I needed to block or tap, and even if they had 3 blockers, just tapping 2 of them was enough for me to overtake the game, so this worked perfect, absolutely loved it. So, that was the deck. I'll put the list in the bottom and my preferred changes. Now, if I had to say cards I would take out, it would be the Blastforge Captain and the Slaver for sure. It just didn't work for me. They were cool cards, but just didn't fit with the flow. And what I would probably put in is a Gale Flame. One would be nice. If you're sticking with the budget, don't put in a Gale Flame, because he's about 10-15. He's about the same price as the deck is as a whole right now. So, but if you have one, excellent. I think 1's a good number for the deck. Wouldn't clog the hand, but it would be a nice card to continuously play down if you didn't have a play in hand, or if you just needed to break a tapped shield or whatever. That would just be really cool. I think this would help a lot. It actually acts as a really great removal spell if you want to think of it that way too. I'm going to do a video on them anyways, but definitely one of these would be nice, and probably a second Star Lantern. It just helped out so much. That one game I played it won me that game, so it's like, it didn't feel situational at all, and I actually wish I saw it a lot more in the tournament. But this was an excellent card. If you're sticking with a budget, this was something I had a thought on. Shockana. I actually think Shockana would be kind of cool. He'd feel a little slow because turn 3 you kind of want to keep attacking, but you'd be able to drop him, and just being able to tap something every time you attack. If they only have 1 blocker on the field, you're just going to be able to keep swinging through and all that. So you can attack with this, and then possibly take out their blocker with a Burn Claw or the Laser Arm. So this was kind of a cool idea, and I haven't tested with it yet, but I would probably prefer the Gale Flame and the extra Star Lantern, but might be worth a try. And again, if you're on a budget and you have any Shockanas, I think that would actually work out. It would work out definitely much better than these 2 schmucks. They didn't do anything for me. So I took first place, got my Sericon, got another one in trade, so I got a couple now. I might do a little video on them, but whatever. Absolutely had a blast at the tournament. Great time. Deck, again, costs probably under $15 to build, so try it out for yourselves. If you're getting into the game, definitely worthwhile, and just seeing it perform so well against one of the meta's tops decks was just absolutely thrilling. So, hey guys, hope you liked the video. Rate, comment, subscribe. I'll put the list in the bottom, and you guys have an awesome day. Peace out.